Have you ever seen anybody worship an idol or a statue or some kind of symbol and make it seem like it's God? Hey, God tells us not to worship anything or anybody besides Him, for He is a jealous God. All right, we serve a jealous God. He tells us, do not worship anything or anybody other than me. All right, we serve a jealous God. Here in Daniel chapter 3, the king is going to set up a statue that's to be worshipped. All right, this happens very historically. All right, remember this also happened in the book of Exodus. Remember, they set up the golden calf and they just wanted to worship, and they decided, hey, let's worship the golden calf. All right, and there's a trend in the Bible of worshiping gold. Right, God tells us not to worship gold and silver. In today's time, do not worship money. That is huge. All right, throughout the Bible, it says, do not worship gold and silver. For so many people worship gold and silver. All right, modern times, do not worship money. Right, we have this culture where we worship money. All right, so hey, money is fine and all. Money is, we pay our bills, everything, but it is not something to be worshipped. It's not something to pursue wholeheartedly. Hey, let's pursue God first, and then the money will come. Like, it'll come at some point. But it's very important not to lose your way with God. Like, hey, let's worship God first, no matter what. All right, God will feed you, no matter what. It says, for He feeds the birds in the sky. Guess what? He's gonna feed you as well. All right, the birds, they're not dying of hunger. Hey, God will find a way to feed us. All right. So here in Daniel chapter 3, they set up a statue. The king sets up a statue, and it is to be worshipped. All right, so let's just read into it. Chapter 3. Nebuchadnezzar, the king, made an image of gold whose height was 60 cubits and width 6 cubits. So pretty much 60, let's just say 60 feet. All right, cubits is a measurement. I don't know the exact measurement. They talk in cubits, but let's just say 60 feet and 60 feet wide. So pretty huge. He set it up in the plain of Dura in the province of Babylon. So in the province of Babylon, the king Nebuchadnezzar sent word to gather together the satraps and the administrators, the governors, the counselors, the treasurers, the judges, the magistrates, and all the officials of the province to come to the dedication of the image which King Nebuchadnezzar had set up. An image, all right, a dedication of the image. This is huge. Why? Because in our future, there's going to be an image 666 that's going to have to be worshipped in this world. And God tells us, do not worship anything, any idols, anything besides God. All right, so this is huge. Our future is leading to us having to worship something or somebody other than God. All right, and so this is an example of what's going on here. All right. So all the important people were to be at the dedication of this image. All right, all the authorities, everybody. All right, there's a trend here. This happens throughout the Bible. This is going to happen in our future. All right, the end times, this is gonna happen. We're gonna be, they're gonna set up the system where we are to worship the beast from Revelation. All right, we're to be worship the beast of Revelation. God tells us not to worship it. All right, so we're gonna see what Daniel does when they put an idol in front of him. So the satraps, the administrators, the governors, the counselors, treasurers, the judges, all officials of the province gathered together for the dedication of the image that King Nebuchadnezzar had set up, and they stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Then a herald cried aloud, "To you is commanded, O people, nations, and languages, that at the time you hear the sound of the horn, flute, harp, lyre, psaltery, the symphony, with all kind of music, you shall fall down and worship the gold image that the King Nebuchadnezzar has set up." So they make it to where, hey, when you hear the horn and the music, everything, you are to fall down and worship this image. Worship the king. Worship this statue. God does not like this. Now, remember, Babylon was one of the most sinful, well, it was the most sinful nation ever. Right? God hated Babylon. God completely hated Babylon. God made Babylon an example. Right? It was a very, very sinful nation. Right?